Hi guys, and welcome to Dreaming in Fibre. I am your host Sarah from sarastexturegraphs.com. Today is Wednesday the 23rd of September, I do believe, and it is setup day for the Stitch, Sew and Hobbycrafts event at West Point. So I am just waiting for Darrin to get back with the van. Then we're going to pack up and get out there and hopefully get set up in good time. Hoping to get a little bit of video here and there, some snapshots where I can as well, just to give you a flavour of the event, and then later in the podcast I'll talk more in depth about the show and you know, all that kind of happenings and so on. Also towards the end of the show there's going to be some news about shop updates for October, so please stick around for that, because that's going to be there's going to be some new things, and so I wanted to share those with you. I'll probably show a lot of that in the next podcast, but there we go. What else do I need to tell you at this stage? I'm not sure. I think that's probably it. So I'm going to toodle off now. I need to make sandwiches, as I say, while Darrin gets back with the van, and then move all of my boxes and tables around just to make sure everything's in the right place so we can get away as smoothly as possible. So I shall catch you later, possibly in the van on the way there, or maybe there. I show you my space. Normally I show at West Point in January for Craft for Crafters. I'm in a slightly different location this time, so with a different stall size and layout, so hoping it should be pretty easy really. We shall see. Different company hosting the show as well, so different sort of setup rules and schedules and that kind of thing, so I'm sure it'll all be fine. I'm just sort of slightly worried at the moment, tired, because I'm sort of panicking a bit that this is a very, very expensive show. This is, of all of the shows I do, this is the most expensive by far. It's the first time I've done this one, so we shall see. I've been as a customer, and it's always been good. It always looks like it's well received, and there's lots of people there, so let's hope that they are after some fluff and yarn. Yes, so keep your fingers crossed for me, and I will get on and show you West Point. Okay, catch you later. So here we are, and we're partway through setting up, and I was just putting the signs up, and I thought I would show you one of my signs just to show you probably how tired I am. Oh my god. Yes, Mum, I know. I did go to grammar school. Fail. Okay, so I've mostly set up. That's me. I'll show you more in detail tomorrow. Just thought I would show you the end of, well, pretty much the end of setup day. And then I'm going to take you on a little wander to show you all the people setting up and the chaos. Say hello, Darrin. Okay, let's go this way. So this is what setup day looks like. Good morning. It's, what day is it? It's Thursday. Couldn't tell you what date it is. I'm sure it's something like the 24th. Yeah, yeah, because I gave you the date yesterday. It's sunny here first thing in the morning in Devon. Really pleased. Yesterday it was a bit drizzly, so we're a bit concerned that you know, the weather might not be the best as such, but yeah, it seems to be all right. A bit crisp. Well, that's quite nice for late September. Not too bad at all. Setup went okay yesterday. I will show you sort of more of the stall now that we've finished setting up. What else can I tell you? Well, I showed you yesterday a little bit of the setup of other stalls, and as you can see, when you get to these big shows, and there are a lot of big companies, they are highly organised. It doesn't look like it necessarily on sort of setup day, but it's really interesting actually to watch them, because you know, seeing how they have to pack things into the van, how it comes off, how it's, you know, they sort of, some of them sit and stock take it onto the stand because they've not long been at another show, and some will stock take at the end before they pack up. And it's quite interesting. It's slightly different to you know, a sort of very small local show. So it's quite interesting, and there's a few things and like tips that you pick up from people on the way through shows like that. So yeah, I think it's going to be good. We're down a nice aisle, so our sort of partners in crime for the 4 days are, we've got a textile artist directly next door to me. We have a couple of, or 2 or 3 sort of fabric shops. We've got a guy directly opposite us who's selling slates, and by that I mean, you know, slates that he's turned into, you know, sort of door signs or picture frames or garden water features and that kind of thing. So quite interesting and an eclectic mix of things, not just sort of making crafts, but a few homeware stalls as well. I'm not sure how we fit into all of that, but I guess actually where I do fit into that really is that quite a lot of my customers, I think at this type of show, are more textile artists. So I'm hoping that being down the fabric aisle will be much better to where we are in January at Craft for Crafters, where we're down the card making aisle, because I don't know how many people go up that far and choose to find us. I mean, normally when I go to a show like that, I walk around and look at all of the stalls, even if it's not particularly something I'm interested in, and I just sort of walk past fairly quickly. I at least go down all of the aisles and take a look, but I get the feeling, and have heard from some people, that they don't necessarily do that. If they think one of the stalls is, you know, one of the aisles is just pure card making and that's not their thing, then they might not necessarily go up there, which is a shame, because actually you'll miss people like me up there, and you know, I'm sure there are lots of other people who do different things who manage to get a stall and they happen to be in that aisle. So I don't know, I'm going to see how this goes. I'm in a very different location to where I am at the September show, although at the same venue, so I don't know whether that, sorry, the January one, so I don't know whether that will affect you know, how people, whether people find us and remember us from the January show. So we shall see. It might mean that I need to switch stalls at one or the other venue so that I get a spot that's kind of current, not current, too tired this morning, can't think, that's in the same location every year, that's kind of sort of pinpoint, if you like, so people remember where I am. And that's it. I think I'm hoping for a very good day. I have a target of what I need to make it this one for each day. This, because it's scary expensive, this one, really scary expensive. So needless to say, I'm a little bit nervous, but hopefully it will be more busy, because I think that the show is much better attended, so hopefully our stall will be busy, is what I mean. We shall see. If I can't take too much video today, obviously I'm hoping it'll be so busy that I won't get a chance, then I will do my evening video for you, just to give you a heads up of how it went, which will go in one of two ways. I'll either be crying or crying with happiness. So I'll catch you later. Wish me luck, guys. And so this is me. blacksmith shawl. And like my pick and mix area. Silk and woolly bits. That's all for coon shawl, that. Hi guys, it's the end of the first day. Knackered. Sun's still out, which is good. Normally when we leave Craft for Crafters in January, it's as black as anything outside, so you can't really see me to do my podcast, so here I am. Been a lovely first day. It's been really nice to meet everybody and see some familiar faces as well. Also thanks to Mum and my sis for coming along. Hello. Yeah, got just sort of repack the store for tomorrow, and hopefully there'll be enough of everything for people to come and buy. I hope tomorrow morning to take some video. If not tomorrow, then it will be one of the other days. I might just do a quick sort of whiz around a couple of the aisles. Probably won't be the whole venue, but just to give you an idea, bit of a flavour of what's going on and what's happening at the show, just in case you're local and you haven't been before, or you fancy the travel to the show. So yeah, I shall catch you tomorrow morning before I go in. Other than that, really good day, really tired and need to go home and eat, so I shall catch you later, guys. Morning guys, it's Friday. Been updated on the date and it's actually the 26th, so yesterday was the 25th and not the 24th. We're off to the show and hoping for a good day and a bright turnout. It's a bit drizzly outside, but I don't think that's going to turn anybody off. So let's see how we get on, and I shall catch you later with an update. Cheers. Good morning folks, it's Saturday morning, hopefully the busiest day of the show. It's looking a bit grainy on the picture there because it's a little bit misty outside, so there's not a huge amount of decent light to give us a good picture. Yesterday went well. It was busy, which is kind of why I didn't really take much in the way of video, so I'm going to see if I can take some photos today and sort of splice that in between, so hopefully you will have seen a few photos. And then hopefully I'll get video tomorrow. I'm assuming it being Saturday it's going to be much busier, so I really don't think I'll get a chance to take any video today, but hopefully, as I say, I'll get some photos this morning. There's some nice costumes, the costumes from Mr. Selfridge, the TV programme, are there. Last year it was Downton Abbey, if I remember right, so it'll be quite nice to see those, and also some of the other displays as well, so I'll try and take as many pictures as I can. Wish me luck for today, and I will let you know later how I get on. Okay, see you later guys. Morning guys, it's Sunday, last day, so I've got to get in, do a little bit of tidying up on the stand, and then pack up later today after I think 5 o'clock we finished today. 9:30 till 5, so it's been a long old 4 days, 9:30 till 5 each day, except yesterday, which was 5:30. Thank you very, very much to everybody who came. You made the weekend really. Today the application forms go in for next year, and I think like most big shows, normally what happens is those stall holders who are here this year get first refusal on their spots for next year. I'm hoping to book for next year, but I just need to make a little bit more on the stall today to make it doable. It's just such an expensive outlay at the beginning that it's kind of scary. But we'll see. Hopefully it shouldn't be too hard. Hopefully, if we get the people through the door to make that little bit extra, so that it'll be doable. But I'll confirm whether I'm doing it again or not a little bit later when I do the show wrap up. So fingers crossed for today, eh? And I will try and take a few more photos if I can't take any video, just to give you a bit more of a flavour of what was happening. Because if you're local, definitely I think this is a craft show that you should come to. There are so many things. I mean, you know, there's everything from decoupage to lots of sewing stuff, through to tassel making, weaving. There's me doing the felt making, spinning, weaving, knitting, and all that fun stuff. Textile art as well. There's some really inspirational textile artists, and of course all the guilds are there, worth having a chat with. Had a chat yesterday with a lady from one of the machine embroidery groups, not machine embroidery, machine knitting groups, and I'll explain a little bit more about why that was such a great conversation later on when I do my wrap up as well, because yeah, I've got some fun things coming up, and yeah, generally it's been really creative and inspirational, so hope to capture a little bit more in the way of photographs to inspire you to not only come next September, but to also check out the January Craft for Crafters as well, which is a good little show now. So I shall catch you later with photos and a wrap up. Cheers. Here I am back at HQ. It's about a week after West Point. The reason why I'm a little bit later in sort of getting this together and doing my sort of roundup is purely that last week was manic, and that is thanks to you primarily. Patch is down there, just sort of whining a bit. She really can't quite work out why I'm talking to myself. Can you, baby? Eh? You good girl. But if she sees another dog on the screen, i.e. her, which is why I've moved the camera slightly up today, then we're going to get all sorts of crying because she wants to talk to the dog. So that was Patch. As I say, last week was manic, and that's really thanks to you guys keeping me busy. I've been doing dyeing lots of pre-orders. I've got a custom order that I have to do next week. What else? Lots of orders and stuff really, so thank you so much for that. Had quite a few new subscribers to the show over on YouTube, so really pleased with that as well, and lots of new subscribers to the newsletter. So if you haven't joined either of those things, pop over to YouTube and find me as Sarah's Texture Crafts over there. If you want to join the newsletter, then pop over to sarastexturecrafts.com and you can find the newsletter link is up the top of the screen there for you. You'll see a little image of an envelope, and that's where I send you my monthly news, but also coupons as and when they happen, and they are exclusive to newsletter readers. I thought I would round up West Point by just giving you a massive thank you for everybody who came out to support me. It was really well received. I met a lot of new faces as well, and a lot of artists from sort of different textile backgrounds, which was really, really interesting and ultimately inspiring. So I've come back with lots of fresh ideas of things and directions that I could kind of go in, you know, so really pleased with that. Also, it was a great opportunity to come across a few new crafts for myself. I have a neighbour was selling off some of her old bits and pieces and family sort of heirloom bits and pieces that she'd had tucked away in the garage. And I bought a knitting machine from her. It's a really old one, I think about 1950, something like that. It's a Knitmaster. I don't know anything about it really. I did a very, very small amount of machine knitting back at college, many moons ago now. So I understand what I'm looking at, sort of generally, but I don't really know how to set it up. You know, I've done it once or twice, but I would need to look back through the manuals, which thankfully I found something online to help me out. So I don't know how much time I will get for this new thing, obviously, but I'm quite excited. It would be quite nice, maybe just to do a couple of really quick scarves, and because it was second hand and quite an old knitting machine, it wasn't incredibly valuable, so I think I paid about £40 for it. So I know it needs a little bit of work to sort of get it in condition to really use it if I want to use it for knitwear and things like that, but I think just for running scarves through, which is probably at the moment all I'll have time to do, I think it's fine. So I'm really pleased with that. I just thought I would show you a couple of other things that I've been working on that I've finished since I saw you last, in the last episode really, and then show you a couple of purchases from the show, which is going to take me no time at all, so let's get into those. Now, many of you will be aware of my latest addiction, which is sock knitting. Who knew, right? Who knew it would be so addictive? But it is. I swore I would never do socks at all, and if you watch probably, I don't know, maybe 15 episodes ago, something like that, I swore blind I would never knit a sock. I never saw the point of knitting socks, but I think because they are so easy, once you get the hang of it, once you get your pattern to fit, that actually it's just TV knitting, which at the moment for me is about the mental level I can cope with. We are coming to the end of show season, so hopefully there'll be something a little bit more exciting in terms of whips and finished projects to show you in the future, but for the moment that's kind of all I have mental capacity for. So I've not just done one pair of socks, I've come up with 4 pairs of socks, because I can knit a pair in 3 or 4 days now, and they are really, really quick. So I've been utilising all of my inexpensive budget sock yarn, which I bought a while ago from a lady in Tiverton who runs the Bead and Yarn shop. I think it was back in January I might have bought these, actually, January or February. And they are the Drops Fable print collection, and I had, I mean they're so inexpensive, it was for a 50-gram ball, I think it was £2.10 or something like that she had it for. I can't remember if that was in the sale or not, but they're not generally that much more expensive, so I decided that I would crack on and knit my way through that stash so I can start to get to the really exciting stuff, which is some of my own sock yarn and other indie dyer sock yarns as well that I've kind of been eyeing up. So this is the first pair, and they are a bluey, turquoisey, light teal colour. They're for me. Out of a 50-gram ball I have that much left, which is quite a lot really. It's probably 5-10 grams maybe. So quite pleased with that. The second pair again is a pair for me, and they are in a sort of pink, purple and orange colourway, which I really enjoyed knitting at the time, because the sky, as we were walking the dog home in the evening, was just that beautiful, perfect, beautiful colour that you get from the end of a lovely summer's day. So they were the perfect socks to be knitting on. Was really pleased with how they came out. then I've also knitted a pair of socks for, I'm sure he's not watching, but Mum, if you're watching, turn this off. These are a pair for my brother, which will be part of his Christmas gift, and they are a red, orange, black, yellow and white pair. And again, same yarn, just different colourway, from 2 skeins. I have about that much left, so plenty to do. I don't know whether I would ever do a beekeeper's quilt or anything like that. At this point, I never say never anymore, because I often prove myself to be a liar. But yeah, I have plenty enough to do something like that with the leftovers. And then this final pair, I'm undecided on the colour, I have to say. They are kind of orange, red, with like a guacamole green, and white with spots of light brown that sort of interdisperse across the length. Now I quite like the way they've knitted up. I quite like the pattern that I've got, very different from, say, my pinky pair, which is the print that most of the socks have been coming up with. But I just really wasn't sure on the colour combo. I mean, they'll be fine to wear at that price, you know. Who am I to argue with? A pair of socks is a pair of socks, and it was a very good price, so I'm not too concerned about not loving them as much as I maybe initially thought I would. But sorry, I'm going to move. My feet are dying. But yeah, it was kind of a bit of a so-so knit, which I've not really come across with so far on my sock knitting, so it happens, right? It's always going to happen, but they're perfectly fine to wear. The other thing I've been working on is, I've just literally started last night, the big knit hats. So I've got several of these finished, and I need to put bobbles or some sort of decoration on the top, and then I'll get a little package of those together to send off. I did some last year, and I think I sent about 15 off. I would love to get a few more of those, and the yarn I'm using for that is just nice and cheap acrylic. So I'm just going to turn around and have a little look in my stash to show you. I'm using Dolly Mix DK, which is an Darrin, sorry, a DK yarn by King Cole. These are little 25-gram balls, 100% acrylic, as I say, and they're perfect for the job. You know, it doesn't need to be anything fancy. So I've got several colours. I've got a bright orange, a bright yellow and a bright green that I really won't use for anything else, so kind of seems perfect to use them for these, and they're almost kind of highlighter colours, so it could be quite cool to have those on top of a smoothie bottle. And then let's show you some purchases. So I seem terribly disorganised today, but it's one of those days, we'll just have to bear with it. I purchased some buttons. I don't know if you remember me working on my fall cardigan. It was probably a few months ago when I showed you the progress of that. Well, that's all finished now, and I just had to buy the button. I've found a button, so I just have to sew one on, and then I'll show you next time the garment, sort of a full finished object for you. So I went on to Etsy, and I ordered from buttonlane01.etsy.com. That's the business card. And I bought several buttons. Hopefully you can see there are some snowflakes, some little reindeer, and then I bought these wood ones as well. So you can see they're a dark wood floral shape, and then these ones, which I'm going to use one of these for the jacket, and that's again slight floral shape to them. I think they're going to be fine. Great price, good service, so I was really pleased with those. The last thing I actually purchased at the show, the West Point show. I have a feeling I might have been referring to this in the last 12 minutes as Craft for Crafters. It's not. Craft for Crafters is the January West Point show. This is Sew, Stitch and Hobbycraft, which is run by a different company, again at West Point though. And I always come across a bead company called Spellbound Bead Company, and that's their details. And I wanted, well, I've had a little idea. I want to, part of what I want to do once the shows have finished is tidy and completely reorganise my stockroom. The reason being that I probably talked about this, oh God, a while ago now, maybe last year even as well, the idea that I would love to move Sara's Texture Crafts out of the house finally so that it can have its own space. In order to do that, I need to completely reorganise the way the stockroom currently works and the way that products are sort of kept. Hello, Patch. And hello. And to do that, I need to order lots of new boxes, which I'll show you when I get them in, to make sure that everything will be watertight and moth safe and that kind of thing if I move stock out of the house. Because obviously it's easier to control when you are around the environment 24/7, but if you know, like you have those 2 days off, I don't want to have forgotten to leave and left a window open by mistake and find, hello Mrs. Someone's being a little minx this afternoon. And she's going through all my stuff, isn't you? Yeah. So yeah, I don't want any moths to get in and, you know, sort of get to the product. You know, like many an indie dyer, I'm completely anal about the way I store my stuff and really, really overly paranoid about the tiniest of moths getting into my stash. As I'm sure many of you spinners and felt makers and knitters who have quite the stash at home. Yeah, having a stockroom of stuff that you sell to go out to other people, yeah, you become this whole different beast. So that's something that I really want to do, and so in doing that, what I hope to also be able to create in my stockroom is a little area where I can have the knitting machine set up, I can have my embellisher set up. I don't know whether I'll get a chance to have or room enough to have my spinning wheel up there. I kind of like having that in front of the TV, but it you know, maybe my loom up so that it means that I can, you know, be a little bit more creative, because, well, I'll go into that more when I talk through it as it happens, I think, but you know, this podcast has been long enough as it is, but yeah, I've got this whole organisational plan thing going on in my head and really excited to get to it in November. So I'm only a month early for this excitement, but yeah, so getting back to the stash, I bought these seed beads, and inexpensively priced really, and they just remind me of the sea and beach and river scenes that I could create maybe in my own artwork. Once I get this room organised and have all this room to have a beautiful create area, it would be lovely, but I don't know how much of that is strictly possible because I have to have my carders up because I use all of them. I have to have my blending board up because I use that as well. I have to have obviously enough room to wind the gradient yarns and things that are starting to come through. Yes, you will see a couple of examples of those by the end of the month in the shop. I need my warping board out so that I can wind for more striping and gradient dyed yarns and things. So I've got a lot of room that really needs to be well thought through. Sorry, not a lot of room, but a lot of production space that I kind of need in that room. So I don't know how, I need to think it through and how it's going to work, and whether I can get this little creative space in there. If I can, it would be lovely, because I do get some quite nice light in that room, so it would be great to have the opportunity to do a little bit of my own creative stuff, which I kind of feel, particularly after being at this show and going to certainly the last show of this year, which will be the Embroiderers Guild AGM at the end of this month. There's a lot of kind of textile things that I really miss doing, and because I go to these shows, it would be great if I could try and get back into, you know, I'm not talking about major pieces of art or anything like that, but just practicing and playing around and maybe using them as examples to show people how they could use my fibres, and creating more stuff like the dress and the little guy up there and so on, and you know, rather than just having a lot of knit samples to show how you can spin and then knit. So we'll see. Anyway, it will be nice, but we'll see. So I think that's it. I think the only other thing I want to talk about really is the shop update in general. So let's start with my next shows. This weekend I will be at Woolly House Weekend, which is, Woolly Weekend, which is at Kelly House, Kelly Lifton in Devon. The details of that are on my website, sarastexturecrafts.com. That is open to the public, and I would love to say hi to you. Then the last one, as I said, is the Embroiderers Guild AGM, and then I am off free from shows until the end of January, when I start the whole thing all over again. And I have to say, I'm starting to book up those shows already, and I've already booked one of the big shows for September next year, so crazy stuff, which is the last show I've just done. But it's kind of crazy to think that I am booked a year in advance now at this stage. But, you know, at the same time, at least I'm getting the bookings, so we're happy. It does mean that over this month and November leading up until the next show, there'll be lots of new things which I dye specifically for you, the website users, rather than dyeing for the shows and then bringing back the stock and selling it on online. I plan to have some new dye techniques. I've mentioned gradients and stripes already for the yarns. There's lots of pre-orders already up there, but there will be a whole section of new stuff which is called Pick and Mix. So if you go onto the website, you'll see those, or the start of. Sorry, scooch up a bit. So I'm really excited about that. I've also just dyed the second pack of Fibre Club and Yarn Club. The first club went out, and I can't remember whether I showed you the colourway, so the colour's not brilliant here. I will insert a picture here. But as you can see, it's this beautiful blues and mossy greens that go through to browns. If I unravel this, you'll be able to see it in a slightly different way. And that went down really well. Everyone seemed to like that, so I was really pleased with how that came out. The problem with this yarn club is that, there we go, you can see that a bit better. The problem with this Fibre Club and Yarn Club is it's I got even numbers, which is not the biggest deal, but it just means I can't be naughty and steal the last remaining even number skein for me, because I dye in pots of 2. Never mind, I can always re-dye, right? and it's not like I haven't got stash going on there already, and that's just yarn. You haven't seen the fibre over there. Maybe I can, you know, once I get my room reorganised, I can show you a bit more of my fibre stash as well. And you can help bring me into line and help me cut it down a bit and get me spinning again, because I feel like I've lost my mojo a little bit on that, and really kind of need some help to get back out there, as it were, and get that spinning wheel out. The only other thing to mention on the shop is Fibre Club and Yarn Club going forward. There will be sign-ups in December. I'm very tempted to think about making a slight change. I'll talk about that if that slight change happens, as and when those actually go up on the website. So let's not worry about that too much now, but just be aware that it's coming. And I think that's it really, so I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to go edit this whole thing, hope it makes some kind of cohesive sense, and hopefully insert lots of pictures as well, so that you can see all of the things that I saw, or some of the things that I saw at West Point. So until next time, I hope you're keeping well. I hope, although October has turned a little bit chilly, you at least enjoyed September, which stayed really lovely and warm, rather abnormally so. And I shall catch you probably the end of this month, where I'll encompass the last 2 shows and show you some new stuff for the website. Okay, so I'll catch you later, and until then, I hope you enjoy dreaming in fibre. Cheers.